The story of Macbeth is a story about a power-hungry man rising into power. But once he gets there, he cannot look past his paranoia. Everyone around him he sees as a threat. It eventually leads to his downfall. This story, I think, is pretty poignant when describing the situation that Donald Trump is in right now. This brings us to today's question. Who do you think Trump will pick for vice president in the 2024 presidential election? There are two key characteristics that I think we need to look for with who the VP will be. First, it's got to be someone desperate. It has to be someone who is desperate for the job. Next, it has to be someone loyal, not just relatively speaking, but a diehard, a true fan, if you will. And with that in mind, finally, I will discuss why Kristi Noem, I believe, is the prime candidate right now. So first, I want to talk to you about why Trump's pick, it has to be someone desperate. Let me take you back for a second to a time before Ron DeSantis' disastrous presidential campaign. He and Trump used to be very close, career-wise at least. And that's because, according to Politico of October 31st, 2023, Ron DeSantis kind of owes his political success to Donald Trump. He won elections because Trump endorsed him. And this is something Trump did not let Ron DeSantis forget. There are numerous examples of Donald Trump holding this above Ron DeSantis' head. And I think this just kind of paints a picture of how Trump treats others, even when they are on his side. He wants a little something to hold against them, almost mob boss-esque. And I think we can see this pattern still being upheld with who we can see on his current short list for VP. According to CNN of March 22nd, 2024, people like Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, and even Ron DeSantis are currently on his short list for vice president. Now, what do all these people have in common? They are all desperate for power, and they're all willing to, contrary to what they've said in the past, bend the knee to Donald Trump and kiss his ring. Ron DeSantis endorsed Trump after dropping his presidential election bid. Rubio was famously very critical of Trump back in 2016, but has since given up on that. And J.D. Vance is much the same. I think it's obvious through looking at how Trump interacts with his political allies that he likes it when he has something to hold over them. And so that's why desperation is going to be a deciding factor in who gets the VP pick. Next, Trump, above all else, values loyalty, right? And there's a lot to use that could go into backing this up. But I think most poignantly for this discussion, I'd like to cite the book American Carnage. This book, I believe, came out in 2019. It describes how Mike Pence, Trump's original VP, got the job, and this is the direct quote, literally for saying nice things about Donald Trump. So, if that's all it takes to get Trump's interest, it's pretty obvious that the person who he's going to pick has to be someone who, at least not in current memory, has gone against him. And actually, according to Business Insider of July 15th, 2019, we can actually see how this has worked against people in the past. John Kasich supposedly was on the top of the list for VP back in 2016. However, Trump did not pick him because he was too critical, at least out in the open. And so, I think it's obvious, going off the choices that Trump has made in the past for his various appointments and endorsements, and even the person he picked for VP back in 2016, loyalty matters a lot. And it has to be loyalty that is outspoken. And so, I think this brings me to Kristi Noem, the current governor of North Dakota. Kristi Noem meets both of these standards with flying colors. She is very desperate to be in Trump's eye. We can see this reported from the New York Times of March 20th, 2024. She has been recently undergoing a sort of MAGA makeover where she has been sort of transforming herself into a Fox News Barbie doll. Many speculate, including the article, that she is doing so in order to gain Trump's attention. She wants to look like the type of woman he would be into. And that just reeks of desperation, right? And next, she has not in 8 years said anything against Trump. The last thing that she said that could even be construed as anti-Trump was back in 2015 on a radio show when she said that Trump was not her candidate. And so, I think with that in mind, with how desperate Trump likes his allies to be, and the loyalty he likes to see, I think it's obvious that Kristi Noem is Trump's pick for VP in 2024.